Okay, this is episode 33, the No Apology Podcast. I'm your host. We're back. SHAQUILLE, and my brother is here with me again.
What's that? What's good, my boy?
What's good, Chris, man? We here. Happy New Year's to all the listeners.
Definitely happy 2021 now.
2021. And I just want to apologize to, the folks. The last couple episodes, I know the sound has been, a little bit crazy. I'll take 100% full accountability for that. Things are just starting out. I'm getting used to all this stuff. So yeah, that's definitely gonna improve. And this episode definitely gonna be different than the last couple ones. So I just want to let everybody know that's something that I am aware of. But yeah, other than that, what's going on, man? New Year's, what we looking forward to the most, man?
Yeah, man. First podcast of the new year. So, we're looking for a lot of growth, development.
Mm-hmm.
I think last year was a good building point to where we started this. And I know you got big things for the podcast, and I'm in it with you. So, we're going to get this thing right.
Right. Yeah. I'm glad to have you back.
Yeah, man. I was actually down for a little bit, bro. I thought I had the vid. I ain't gonna lie to you, man.
So
I had that ish.
So yeah, let's explain that. Like, what made you feel like what was going on? Because I only think you was out for your daughter's birthday, right?
Yeah, I even went out and everything, but even around that time, I wasn't really feeling 100%. Yeah.
Okay.
What had happened is my girl had got sick first, so she started. I'm like, "What's good with you? Like, you got that?" And she like, "I haven't been with nobody that had it or anything like that," so she wasn't really too sure. And then it had like, I remember me and you had talked about it. He was like, you had lost your taste and thought you lost your smell.
Yeah.
And everything had started tasting the same. I don't know, was the mental thing for me? I'm like, where I kind of like, I know that's a symptom, and I kind of started thinking like that. But everything, I had like this meatball sandwich, and everything started tasting like meatballs. Like, I'm eating something else that tastes like meatball. And I'm like, man, like this might be it. But I did get tested, and like after like 3-4 days after I had symptoms. And I did test negative. So
God bless.
I thank God for that. I guess it was just a cold, and it might have been like a mental thing too. But it was crazy, bro.
I couldn't even personally tell you what you had because everybody's shit different. Like, I don't know. Like fact, some people might have the no taste and no smell, and some people might have nothing. I don't know. But yeah, the world's crazy. I'm sure by this time everybody knows what's going on with the U.S. Capitol, the run-in. Everybody, the Trump supporters, right? They were Trump supporters.
Yeah,
or was it
Trump supporters.
All Trump supporters.
Yep.
They rushed into the Capitol building, and yeah, it was a lot of back and forths, a lot of opinions towards what was going on. How do we feel? What's our thoughts on it? What do we feel?
I mean, it was nice to kind of hear like black influences such as, LeBron James, Draymond Green hearing their opinion. I kind of side with them in the case where we look at this situation, and even when I first heard about it, I'm at work, and it's like not even, I don't think it was 3 o'clock yet when I heard the news. So it was just odd to even, it ain't make sense to me at first. And when you hear it, you like, nah, those gotta be like terrorists. You know what I'm saying? These ain't regular U.S. Americans breaking into this joint. Like, they gotta be too equipped.
Right.
There's too much police and security for them to let these people in straight like that. Like, they had to be some other type people. It can't just be regular civilians.
Right. Yeah, that's.
Oh,
I forgot.
I
forgot my dad was supposed to come here, man. Let me cut it.
No, bro. Don't cut it. He here. What's up, Dad?
All right.
How you feeling,
What's
Pop?
going on, Dad? Nah, you can sit down. Hold on, let me set the mic up. Hold on.
Set that thing up, man. Let's get Pops live on the podcast today.
Nah, go ahead. You can sit right here. Hold on. Special guest. Very, very special guest, ladies and gentlemen. My dad is here, Mr. Almost Doctor Demetrius Robinson. Almost Doctor. What's going on, Dad?
Hey, what's happening?
What's going on?
Y'all got me on the spot.
Yeah, you walked in.
What's up, Pop? Been a minute.
I forgot you were supposed
Chris,
to come.
Yeah, what's happening?
All good, Pop.
So, what are y'all talking about?
Nah, we talking about. I'm sure you heard everything that's going on with the government, the U.S. Capitol stuff.
Oh, the Capitol.
Yeah.
Well, y'all
just
got
about to dive into that.
Yeah.
So, what's your thoughts on it?
It was funny because I was reading. I read a lot, so I was reading about the history, and they said the last time that they had somebody break in the Capitol was like 1814.
Sheesh.
Yeah, and that was when the British came in. Funny enough.
The British.
Yes, and guess who it was led by? It was led by a vice admiral. His last name was Cockburn.
Cockburn.
Cockburn. So this cock burnt down the Capitol.
Oh my goodness.
For real, they burnt the Capitol down 1814, and then you got Vanilla Ices out here.
Right. So
Burning,
this whole thing was
That's funny. But yeah.
It was basically because of Trump supporters upset about the voting and whether Trump really lost. Was that really what it was about?
From what I read, I feel like their intentions was to stop the count because I believe they were still doing the count within the Capitol at the time.
Okay.
And they were supposed to stop it, and they did, from what I heard.
All right.
Well, yeah, they was they just wasn't trying to stop the count. They was just they were breaking in.
Yeah.
I mean, that was crazy.
Yeah.
And what was even more crazy, if you look at when they first was going in the Capitol outside, at first the police had them at bay. Mm-hmm. Everything was cool, and then you seen the police go just leave the crowd and go up the steps, like they gave them okay to just follow us, come into the Capitol.
Yeah.
So that right there, I was surprised at that.
Do y'all think that the authorities, you think they knew that this stuff was gonna be held beforehand with all the people? Do you think that they knew that this was coming?
Well, my opinion is, when you have the FOP of various police departments around the country supporting Trump, and there's a lot of police officers that support Trump. So I don't put it past them because again, you're talking about Washington D.C.
Yeah,
they have more law enforcement officers within that certain square mile radius than anywhere else in the United States of America. And you will tell me you can't stop a crowd of a couple 10,000s of people. I don't know what the count was. Yeah. It wasn't like the Million Man March or nothing like that,
right.
But they couldn't stop those individuals.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is, it was purposely done, especially if during Black Lives Matter, they had half the National Guard and they had private security that somebody recruited to cover it as well. So the thing is, they was well prepared when black folks is out there.
Yeah.
Damn, I'm pretty good for being just on the spot type stuff.
Right.
I'm with you on that one. There has to be a lot of layers of security where if that breach were to happen, somebody had to be made aware or somebody had to put the card up nah, y'all can go ahead, let them in at least. Because how the hell did they get in that building? That's what I want to know. And it's funny because now I'm seeing stories where they saying the police chief of the Capitol is putting in his resignation papers.
Oh yeah,
that's fishy, bro. What you mean you try to quit now?
Well, I think that was because all the backlash that he was getting, everybody was getting for their lack of security.
Yeah.
So he probably wasn't trying to handle all that heat because I mean, granted, everybody probably wasn't prepared, but as you could see in some of the videos, some of the cops were letting the people in and were a part of the riot. So I think some people some of them may have known this was going on. He may have not, but I think that was his main reason on putting his resignation in because he couldn't take that heat.
It was people with shirts on that said that shit. This is the day we going to do this. They had shirts on.
What tripped me out is, you had one dude walking with the Confederate flag in the Capitol.
I saw that.
Like a resurgence of the South. Like they came back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what tripped me out.
Yeah.
But the tragic thing about really the whole thing is the woman that got shot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They shot her in the neck.
Yeah.
And that is what they should be talking about because, as far as politics, they talking about this and who did this, who didn't do this, and why did they break in? Somebody was actually shot and killed over this nonsense.
And whether three people after that was killed after that, I believe.
Yeah, they said it was complications from it wasn't direct, confrontation, but they just may have had a heart attack or, they may have been injured in the crowd. And also the police officer, he was the fifth person to die.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I heard that.
So that's what we should be talking about. The deaths that occurred.
Yeah.
So, and one thing is, when you listen to other news, like conservative news radio, the first thing they do is they talk about the woman, she was a 14-year veteran in the Air Force.
The woman that died.
The woman, yeah.
They
pumping up, which is all right. That's what you're supposed to do. But when somebody gets shot and killed in the black community, they just a criminal.
Yeah.
But they patted her. But again, you don't want to throw dirt on anybody who's dead or dying.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
dirt,
you saying that, but there was a lot of people throwing dirt, and that's from my perspective of all this. Like, and I'm asking y'all opinions. I'm not really giving too much of my opinion on it because I wasn't as tuned in as everybody else, just because like with the whole news thing and certain things like this, I kind of like don't want to overindulge into it because it's like they, the news controls what they want to control as far as what they want to put out. They'll never put out, people that were peaceful in that, whole thing. They only going to show you the ruckus and the rage of it. They're not going to really
makes the ratings.
Yeah, so that's pretty much I don't want to keep feeding one dynamic of it because that's what the news is giving me. I want to be able to just, when I saw it, I was like, okay, niggas is, well, not niggas, but white people wild.
No. According to the dictionary, it's ignorant people.
What,
you know what I mean? So
well,
according to the dictionary, right. So hey, I had a white person that said, "Oh, niggers don't mean just black people. That's just ignorant people in general."
Yeah, well, when stuff is ignorant, we say niggas, whoever, no matter who it is.
No matter who it is.
Yeah,
but that's a whole nother conversation. But I got you.
When I saw it, I said, "Okay, niggas is wildin'. I'm gonna just go over here and finish what I'm doing." Because for me, like, I got a lot of stuff going on in my head, and like I have an addictive personality as well. So like once I see that, and it's like more and more news coming out, that's gonna be my whole day. Like,
well, you did the right thing, because that is a gesture that we all should, as black folks, take heed to. Stay the hell out the way while they go ahead and they do what they need to do. Don't jump in this frail.
It's too much pride, though. It's too much pride.
We need to stay out of that fight.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And we happy to take sides, because we want to indulge. But no. We need to, at this time, get our own self together
and rebuild
focus on, and build.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Let them fight it out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Because when they lay crumbs on the ground and we fight for those crumbs, they stay out of our way. The only time they get in is when they clean it up.
Right.
So let them go ahead and fight. I mean, it's good to have some kind of commentary.
Yeah.
And know that we ain't out there doing it. And one thing that people were saying, it was two things. One thing was, y'all seen the video with the black cop that was inside.
Yeah, he kind of directed him.
Yeah, when he was at like the bottom of the stairs and he was running up the stairs, and then he tried to hold him back and ran up. People was coming down on him like, he was a punk because he was running.
Yeah.
I'm like, hold up.
Yeah.
What do y'all think about that?
I mean,
hold on. You remember the video? Y'all seen the video, right?
Outside of that, though, I just think, like, not to get totally off the topic, because I'm hearing that part. It's just, for me, people were too worried about, like, even with the people being in it, they were like, why is nobody getting arrested? Why not, like, you got to give people time. A lot of people in there with masks on. Not everybody had their face showing. So, like, a lot of people were just angry, like, look at what they're able to do. If they were black, they would have been like this, they would have done this. Like, okay, we understand that, but, like.
But you know what? That argument, I've heard half a dozen people say that.
Yeah, you hear that statement a lot.
And Chris, I'm like this. We all know what would have happened if we, but why we gotta say that?
Yeah.
Well, if we did, it's like being in an argument,
a dead horse.
Like your girl, like say your girl is like, you left the door open, right? They said, "What? If I would have left the door open, you wouldn't have liked that." And you'd be like, "What? What do you mean?"
It never even happened yet.
Yeah, but
you never even left the door open.
Well, our situation already happened.
No,
but
I'm saying,
what I'm saying is,
but the black people never broke into the Capitol
There you go.
yet.
You're right.
So
exactly.
you're saying something based off of assumptions, basically.
Exactly. But guess what? We know what would happen.
Yeah, but there were black people in there though.
Well, that were a part of the protest?
Yes,
yeah, I think
there were black people in there.
I did see that too, though.
Seen
that were supporters.
On video.
I couldn't confirm
Trump
it, though.
Supporters.
Yeah,
it's always we haven't. See, that's one thing we haven't learned. We can't be the only black person where you have a whole bunch of white folks doing things wrong. Because no matter what they do that's wrong, guess who they're gonna point the finger to?
Us, yeah.
It don't matter. He the bad guy, and everybody going to look at the brother because it's assumed. And speaking of the brother, going back to the brother inside running, people was coming down on him because he was running. I'm like, nah, listen, I'm going to stay around to make sure that I could tell the story. I ain't going to try to stop this crowd of people.
Yeah.
And I don't have no backup?
My thing is what they wanted him to do, like pull his gun out, like, yo, everybody back the fuck up. I got this shit, like, on some, like, taking control.
Now, Chris, why don't you think he did that, though? Because there was a crowd of black folks, and I'm going back on what I just said about the other. But why do you think the black man, he had a gun on his side?
I feel like he wanted to be more careful about the whole situation. Like, kind of goes back to what Shaq was saying, too, where everything was kind of happening all at once. They were all kind of thinking, like, all right, so what should we do right now? It seemed like a lack of whoever was in charge didn't know how to handle the situation. I think that's why extreme force wasn't really applied, like not how it should have been, but in that situation. That's why, because they didn't know what the hell to do.
Yeah, but you notice outside, I remember seeing video outside when they had the barricades and people were trying to come over the barricades. You couldn't see, the police officers if they were white or black. Mm-hmm. But some of them, the way they were swinging and squaring up on them jokers, you was like, nah, that's a brother. Brother, they was swinging on them jokers. For real. They was swinging. You know what I mean? So maybe that was the wrong brother that was inside with the gun. Yeah. Because I don't know. I might would have pulled something out.
Right.
You know what I mean? I might had to bang off on a couple jokers because I'd have been like, listen, I'm doing this for Pelosi.
And I think like when you at that type of level, you in the Capitol, you supposed to be protecting the Capitol by all means.
Absolutely.
So why wouldn't you? You know what I'm saying? Like over police in that situation. But
listen, you in the Capitol?
Yeah.
Listen, you went over the door, over the barricades.
Right.
I'm gonna go over you.
Yeah.
For real.
So during all of the ruckus, Trump had came out, and all this happened on the 7th of January. That was Thursday.
Speaking of ruckus, I think I might have seen Uncle Ruckus in the crowd. For real. But
wait, this happened. This started on Thursday, right? Or Thursday or Wednesday? I forgot. I think it might have started yesterday.
I believe
the 7th.
Yeah, I believe it was yesterday.
Okay, so we'll just go through that. We'll start from the 7th. When all this had happened, in the middle of it, people were like asking, what is Trump gonna do? He needs to tell them that, calm down, all that other stuff. And he put out a video. I don't know where he was when he recorded it. It didn't look like he was.
I think it was outside the White House.
It was okay.
Yeah, it was recorded.
So he recorded a video, basically telling everybody to go home and we need to be safe and all this other stuff. But then he went right back into the election is rigged. The whole the meat and potatoes of him telling everybody to go home and be safe. So it turned into him talking about and reminding people that the election was rigged.
So he put the fire out and sparked it again.
Yeah, basically. Like,
these people are in the Capitol because of what you're saying, and instead of you just conceding, you're going to amp the people up more and continue to say that go ahead. I'm sorry. No, I'm just saying you're going to continue to say that, the election is rigged. Is that smart? I mean, I know that's a rhetorical question, but is that the right thing to do in the position that he's in? Like, what? I can't ask what do y'all think because that, like I said, it's kind of rhetorical. But
I'll tell you what I think.
Go ahead. How you feel
what you
about
think,
that?
Chris? I'm sorry.
Nah, that's all good, Pop. I enjoy having you here, man. I want to hear what you got to say, man.
Listen, bro.
Let me know what
I'm
you
behind
think.
the mic. I wasn't expecting to be behind the mic, so hey. It's the thing is we got to call it for what it is. You can't just say, well, he didn't tell them to go down there. Trump is a type of person where he says, I'm going to push the envelope, and this is throughout his whole presidency. If it's not illegal, then I'm going to do it. It may be immoral. But as long as it's not illegal, I'm going to do it. That's his whole MO. That's why he has lawyers around him all the time. Because they judge whether or not what you're doing is legal or illegal, what you're saying is legal or illegal. So he know what he was doing. And his thing was, Pelosi's in there, I don't like her. Pence is in there, I don't like him no more. So y'all go up in there and burn it down if y'all have to. Because nobody in there he was cool with. Lindsey Graham, Lindsey Graham already said, I'm done. I'm done with him. I'm done with him. So everybody done with him. Mm-hmm. Even the cabinet people quitting left and right. But that's strategic too, because you got to look at it. Who are they asking to put in place the 25th Amendment? The cabinet. So jokers is like, yo, I'm getting up out of here because I don't want to be in that position because I might have to do it according to what's been going on. And I don't want to stick around. So let me just go. Because hey, as all we know, he might burn the damn White House down on his way out.
On his way out.
His Twitter and his Facebook, the day of all these things that were happening, they had temporarily suspended his account just based off of everything that he was tweeting and saying on the platforms. But then going in today, since we're recording on Friday, they suspended his account permanently. A president.
What he said before they suspended his account, Shaq?
Well,
because I still want to know. You ain't tell me yet.
Okay. Well, leading up, I don't know what he was saying the day of the I don't want to call it a. Can we call it a riot? Do we call it a riot?
Insurrection. That's
okay. Insurrection.
They trying to call it a protest, and I'm
protest?
Like, how the hell was that a protest?
No, they're not protesting.
I ain't never seen a protest like that.
Nah. So.
Not since 1814.
Yeah, those days. The day of, I'm not sure what he was tweeting the day of, but today he said that he wasn't gonna attend the inauguration.
Oh man!
On Twitter, he said this.
Call him something.
Oh man!
Because that's straight like a B. He's a
yeah,
B.
It is.
I was either gonna use a B or a P. However you want to put it.
But even that, why are you talking? Why are you gonna say that on Twitter? Like we're in our 20s, we do that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's people younger than us that if something going on in their relationship, they'll post it on Twitter. But for him to put that out there, he said, "Oh, I know everybody was wondering, but I'm not going to be there in case anybody was wondering." Like that, you're trying to trend. You're trying to be like a trending topic now. If we're even putting that news out there, you could have just not had shown up. But he's trying to put it out there to gain that attention. I think that's all it comes down to with him is just attention.
Well, he's gonna be with Putin anyway.
I mean, let him tell it. He don't really know who he is. He just, let him tell it. He's just a friend. He don't really speak to him that often. But
oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was weird as well. Seeing a president, their accounts permanently removed.
But you know what that means, right? If he's permanently removed from Twitter and Facebook, he need to be permanently removed from the White House.
Office. Yeah, that's very
true.
Because
if Facebook and Twitter say you gone.
That was my next
keep
question.
Him in there.
That was my next question. Do y'all think that at this time, do y'all think that he should be removed from office?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of goes back to what you were saying, adding fuel to the fire. Like if the longer he's in office, the more anticipation we can expect for something like this to happen again. Because he's still throwing out these subliminals, and just because you think his Twitter and his Facebook deactivated, he gonna get a CNN special or some type of news report where he's still gonna say his bullshit, and it's still gonna reach the minds of the influencers or the people who's capable of doing things like this. So he needs to just go, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Get him out of there. Mike Pence already said it. And that's his vice president. It's supposed to be his boy.
Right.
His boy is telling us like,
oh,
nah,
yeah, they
he wildin' like.
Okay, I forgot about that too.
Pence said? I thought he was quiet on the whole thing.
No, him and Mike Pence had unfollowed each other during all of this stuff. They unfollowed each other on
in
Twitter.
Middle school. The vice president unfollowed the president.
Yeah, he unfollowed him.
Wow. This is wild.
And then they had said that the news had came out that it was an accident. He accidentally unfollowed him, and then that was kind of like
that's like Cardi B accidentally taking pictures with no clothes on.
Yeah,
on Instagram.
Yeah, it's like you have to who you're following and unfollowing. Okay. So that was kind of weird. I'm not sure why he even unfollowed him. I mean, it's a lot of Republicans that are kind of against what he's doing as well. What's Mitt Romney, Mike Pence as well, George Bush.
You might as well say everybody.
Yeah, damn near everybody. It's weird. It's tough times, but us as Black people, I want to get back to that because we were getting somewhere with that conversation. I don't think that we need to necessarily overindulge or even have those arguments and fights with other black people about, you know, what would have happened if this was us.
True indeed.
And
we already know.
We already know what would have happened. Why weren't they shot? Things of that nature. And just like on the grand scheme of things, just on a political aspect, because I know earlier on during the whole presidential debates, a lot of people, there was things trending like, oh, what if your relative wanted to, you know, vote for Donald Trump? Would you disown them and things of that nature? I don't think that, you know, people's political views should be taken so personally. I don't think that, you know, just because somebody likes a certain politician that, you know, they should be harmed, or, you know, they should be disowned if they're your family member. That's where we kind of get, you know, sucked in. And I think, you know, in certain ways, when you like a certain president, you can question somebody's, you know, morale in a sense. But I think that is where a lot of this anger and emotion stems from, even with people that don't like Donald Trump, people that don't like what he does and what he stands for. But when stuff like this happens, they overindulge and they kind of like go against their feelings. If
Listen, now I got to jump in there
ahead.
Because, you know, when I hear black folks, I mean, arguing and defending Donald Trump, you know, I don't take it personally. I don't get all, you know, but it amazes me in a crazy way that this black person who is 50, 60 years old don't know what racism look like and don't know what a racist is, and they support this joker.
Yeah.
And the thing is, just because you black, it's just like, just because you have money and you black, it's not going to insulate you from racism. And you hoping that if you show up on Fox News that everybody recognize you, but you still a nigga.
Mm-hmm.
You just think, oh, I'm a nigga that support Trump. I wear a MAGA hat and all that other stuff. I'm good. You know, like people like Kanye West. Kanye West? Yeah. I'm like, hold up. Your lyrics was banging in the beginning. You know what I mean? You don't want to talk about George Bush don't like black people. He said it on national TV.
Yeah.
Now, George Bush, he seemed like he like Martin Luther King up against Trump.
I
For
mean,
real. Seriously, I don't mean to make that. I'm sorry, listeners. I don't mean to make that. But still, you know, I can't understand how black folks like that. You know, that right there kind of roused me up to the point where I have to step away and like, listen, they're going to see.
Well, one person I do know, they were, you know, on the internet supporting Donald Trump. They're black. I'm not gonna put their name out there, but I definitely, they should hear this. They definitely should hear this, and I think they were saying that they will debate anybody on the topic of, you know, supporting Donald Trump, and I'm willing, you know.
You know those people?
No, I know them personally.
Oh, you know,
I know them. Chris know them too.
You need to
talk about that offline.
You need to have more.
Chris know them.
Because I know this is my first.
We ain't gonna put nobody on blast.
We ain't gonna put nobody on blast, but
okay.
I will have that debate with you if you hear this. I will happily have that debate with you.
That's one of the brothers though?
No, not even. Not that close. But back to what you were saying about George Bush. What I was saying, even like how I, you know, carry myself when all this news comes out. I've known things about how the government was going on before Donald Trump was in office. A lot of people are just starting to understand politics and the government from Obama. Like, people didn't know that George Bush was a part of the Skull and Bones.
Man, some people didn't even know that Trump had casinos and a show. And these are people down south now that love him.
Yeah.
They wasn't worrying about Trump before this.
But
now they ready to die over this joker.
We're going to get back to that.
You know what that's all about, right?
No, we're going to get back to
whiteness.
That. But
it has
you hear what I'm saying, though?
Go ahead.
He was a part of the Skull and Bones.
Oh, yeah.
All these things that people talk about, Illuminati this, Illuminati that. It's documented that him and his father were a part of that. So, like,
you're talking about
Bush, yeah.
Yeah.
I knew these things University. Early on, but when
Yeah.
Obama was in office.
Yeah.
So when I'm looking at Trump and all these things that are going on now, it's like, all right, I see it, but I still know how to walk away from it.
Now I'm gonna ask you a question. Now, what would you have thought if President Obama was what we thought he would have or should be, and what if he was calling on black folks to go up to the Capitol for reparation? How would we feel if President Obama did something like that? If he was like that in regards to, being quote unquote radical, and kind of riled up the black folks who were disenfranchised, because there was a white folks that's disenfranchised.
Yeah,
there's some who are really truly disenfranchised. And then you have some that just benefiting off of that, or being anti whatever. But what would be your response if Obama, before he left, he was like, listen, black folks, we need reparations. They're not giving us our reparations. March on Washington and take our reparations because they playing with us.
Just off the rip, damn. Like, firstly, Obama, just like his overall aura, I would say, was more about positivity. So, just even thinking about him even coming down to that level of demanding us to even do that, I don't think he would have that much support. I don't think people would follow up as anticipated as it sounds like, all right, Obama said do it, so let's ride out. Because I feel like now we're educated to the point where we know, like, things that, going into the Capitol is only going to not benefit us. It's going to get us killed.
Right.
Like, we definitely signed ourselves for a suicide mission. And I don't think it's a comparison when it comes to white and black, because like we said multiple times throughout this podcast, we know what would happen if black people raided that building.
But think about it. Let's flip it like this. Let's reverse it. What if it was black guards, black folks in charge of security, and they was taking selfies with us? You know what I mean? And then you had celebrities that might have been out there, pushing this whole thing, because there was a couple politicians and people that was out there. How would we react to that?
I mean, I would be surprised if he came out at the end and, and said, gave us.
And I'm not talking about the Obama that we all know. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about
a radical Obama.
A different Obama.
A different Obama. The Obama that a lot of us wish she was.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be surprised.
Because you ever see them pictures with Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, and Barack Obama?
Yeah.
I don't even think he deserves to be in there.
Yeah, nah.
But imagine him deserving to be in there.
Yeah.
And he has Malcolm and Martin, and he has that spirit. And he told black folks, go to Washington. We need our reparations. They killing us in the street. We gonna get justice. We taking this country back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not back because we never had it, but we gonna make this. We gonna truly get what we need back and what we deserve. How would we react? I know some older people, and I know some young folks that might be down for that.
For the reparations?
No, for the Washington.
Oh, to raid
and raid. What if again? It wasn't. We don't have to worry about that. If it was black people, we'd have got shot. We wouldn't have to worry about that.
Yeah. It would definitely. I don't think a lot of black people would be necessarily for it, because I think, sad to say, just with our generation and how things go with social media, I think a lot of people just say a lot of things just for clickbait. A lot of people say things, to go viral, get retweets and stuff like that. So I don't think a lot of people, if it was,
you don't think people riding out?
I don't think a lot of people would.
Because I mean, even what about the brothers in the street riding out? No, okay. Let me add this. What if Michelle Obama was next to him and say, "Listen, y'all go head out there. y'all go head out there. And y'all we gonna ride together." Imagine Michelle and Barack Obama both standing out there, because when Barack Obama first took office, they had him and Michelle Obama on a magazine making them look like they was Taliban, they was rebels. But what if they really were? And not to the point where let's not have a Negro mindset like, well, we don't want to break the law. We don't want to, No. We are getting what's rightfully ours.
But
that
I
means
think
representation.
And not to cut you off, but I think the narrative will still be a lot different because we're still, fighting within a purpose that's just greater than, I feel like, what the purpose was with this whole Trump thing, where they're fighting for recounts, we're fighting for reparations, we're fighting for things that we rightfully deserve.
Yeah, but how would people see that? How would people see that upheaval? And they know that it's possible with us because it's overdue. We've had Nat Turner. You know what I mean? We've had other revolutionaries. And the only reason why black folks was held back is because the leaders held us back.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't get killed because they knew, just like we say today, if it was us, this is what would have happened. Massacre. They knew that. Yeah. So Elijah Muhammad, Honorable Elijah Muhammad, held back Malcolm. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Martin Luther King was held back by his studies as far as Gandhi and peaceful protests. Mm-hmm. That's what his philosophy held us back. Even with religion, and religion. But after a while, listen, they both was threats. Unfortunately, that's why they were assassinated.
Mm-hmm. So I don't think, like I said, it even goes back to social media, because with the situation with George Floyd, like if social media wasn't a thing, the protests that we had, even like in Jersey, like I don't think that it would have made it that far if it wasn't, social media and then people, recording themselves and all the other stuff. So yeah, I think it could have been possible, but a part of me still.
No, I don't want you to think rational about why it wouldn't happen. I want you to imagine how would you respond if you seen that, if it was black folks fighting for righteousness, because these white folks that stormed the Capitol, they thought that was a righteous fight. They really truly believed that, even though we understand, just like Chris said earlier, we were fighting for righteous things. I wouldn't feel wrong about what any black people were doing if it happened. I'm not sure too many revolutions that happened that were successful without violence or without any like force. So I don't think that I would have looked at it like, why are we doing this, or why we shouldn't be doing this. Because like people were saying with the whole Capitol thing, the whole Black Lives Matter people, they wanted to protest, but you see these white folks had got into, that was an argument that I saw, like black people were with the peaceful protests, but these white people, they went into the Capitol and they ran amok. So like, that was some people's argument. That was how many people get to sit at the chair of the vice president when he's on the floor of the Senate, sitting chill, taking selfies,
putting feet up on their desk.
First of all, that's disrespectful. I can't put a feet up in your house, and you gonna put a foot up in the people's house?
And they broke in as they were about to say that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden won the election again, right?
Yep.
Well, they were still on Arizona.
They were still doing the count.
Yeah, they were still in the A's.
But after everything happened, they cleared everybody out. They went right back.
I was watching it when they was clearing it out. Because I was watching, and people were like, well, what's going on? Something's going on in the right-hand screen, the corner, blah, blah. And that's when they was clearing jokers out, even before they got in.
Okay.
But, yeah, they was clearing people out. They were scared. So my thing is this. I don't want to hear no more that cops are scared, and that's why they shoot black folks. Because when you have white folks have congressmen, representatives, police force, all back up and retreat.
Yeah.
Either under their desk, and they had the doors barricaded. Now, that's why I think that woman unfortunately got shot, because she broke through the window of a door that had furniture barricading.
Yeah.
So if you got furniture barricading the door that's closed,
They thought she was a threat.
Listen.
They thought she was a threat.
Listen, that is they must listen. To shoot a white woman, point blank, and plus what was said to her from what the witnesses said, she was warned a number of times. Stand down. Stand down, or I will shoot. And she know what stand down mean, because if she was in the military, the Air Force for 14 years, she know what that meant. First of all, if she was in the military for 14 years, she knew how important the Capitol was, because that's what she's defending with her life.
Right.
So people say she shouldn't have got shot. No. I'm not saying that she should have got shot, but just like they say black folks in the street, well, he should have known it was going to happen. He out there selling drugs. No. You out there busting into the Capitol. Right. And you don't know that you're going to get shot. But guess what? That's white privilege, because a lot of them were walking through there like tourists, and they didn't duck. They wasn't looking. They wasn't, thinking that something was going to happen. I would have been scared.
I'm sure they didn't even think they was going to get any repercussions from this. They thought they was going to go home at the next day and think everything's sweet.
Yeah. But that was my thing.
Yeah. A lot of them getting arrested now, though. Yeah. Now that I'm keeping up with the news and everything I see.
I mean, I knew people were going to get it, because one of the main guys, the dude that was in Nancy Pelosi's
office,
he didn't even have a mask on. So I knew that eventually after they let, and he got arrested, I think, in Arkansas.
Yeah, that's where he's from. He got identified.
Excuse, can I interrupt? Can I make a public service announcement? Everyone who's listening to my voice, please, if you're going to do something wrong or risky, do not do a selfie, please. Do not have record, because don't believe that you and your boys or you and your girls is the only one on Twitter that can see you do this.
Yeah.
They took her laptop too. They took her laptop. So once that laptop go off, the Fed's gonna be on that thing like.
Oh, they took her laptop.
Like
I thought it was a letter. I read that they did take a letter.
They took somebody's laptop.
We don't know what else they took.
Yeah, that's just everything reported.
We don't know what else they took. It could have been some sensitive documents.
Yeah.
If anything, because of that, everybody who was in that Joker should be arrested.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Because guess what? Guess what happens when Tyrone, Jamal, and Malcolm is a bag of weed on the floor and a cop come up in the spot.
Yeah.
Bag of weed on the floor. They don't know. They know it's a bag of weed. Guess who? Everybody getting
They gonna act like that's a bomb.
Everybody getting it.
They gonna act like that's a bomb.
If y'all was all in there and documents are missing, all y'all catching it. That's how it should be.
Yeah.
White privilege or no white privilege. Because guess what? My stimulus check might have been up in there.
Right.
I'm still waiting for that thing.
My thing just hit today, Pop. Just check your account, man. Your thing probably hit just now.
I ain't get mine because I ain't have a tax return in I don't know how many years. So they don't even have my bank information. So they supposed to be sending it in the mail.
Oh,
matter of fact, I need to see if that dude from Arkansas might have it.
Yo, for real.
For real.
Nah, so it didn't really look like people really cared too much about COVID, but
yeah, I ain't see barely any masks like throughout the whole time.
Yeah.
It's funny that you say that, because Trump got them jacked up all the way around.
Yeah, that's true.
He told them don't wear no mask, go up in the White House, So he jamming them all up. Because if anything, if you gonna go up in there, you better have a mask on. All the facial recognition they have up in there.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Got jammed. See?
He actually was talking about the vaccine, and he was saying that it almost 100% cures you from severe diseases, I think he said. But he was saying that he's not sure that it'll cure the COVID virus. Actually, he said he doesn't think that it will cure the virus, because the whole country has to be vaccinated in order for it to properly work.
That sounds like double talk to me. That for real. Double talk to get double dollars. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, and that's he called it a program as well.
He didn't call it a cure. Let's enlighten that. It was a program.
He called it a program.
And I used to live in the projects.
Yeah,
that sounds like a trial period to me. Yeah. Like, let's see what happens if we get them this vaccination. What's gonna come about it?
Be very careful when they call things projects and programs.
Right.
Because it don't sound. It's not good for black folks. and I'm not saying it. I'm not trying to deter black folks from getting it. from getting a vaccine. So I'm not saying that, but I'm just, as a person who loves history, it hasn't been all very nice to us in regards to that.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. But yeah, it's pretty much up to us now, because I guess everybody's trying to get black people to take the vaccine.
Now, what about you? I mean, you, my son, I was concerned with about you when you had COVID. You obviously have antibodies. So those antibodies that the vaccine supposed to help us develop in our bodies, you already got. So I wonder what he's saying about people who already got it.
Damn, that's good question.
I don't follow him that much. I just saw this clip that he was saying that it just because you took the vaccine, that doesn't mean that you can't catch the virus. I saw that, and that kind of was like.
So that sound like because you had the COVID, don't mean you can't get it again.
I guess.
So all this is really new. Nobody really give us no straight answers.
No, I mean, what straight answers have we gotten since, this whole thing came about? I'm not really sure how many, straightforward things besides, getting locked down. That's really the only thing that I really recall that was not too debatable.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else that was said was pretty much debatable, because once like you said, when I caught the virus, after it was all out of my system and stuff, some people were saying that, I could possibly catch it again. And like I said on the podcast before, like people that I've known that caught the virus, they went to doctors, and doctors told them that they don't think that they could catch the virus again. So at this point, it's kind of weird, because I also heard in China that people were catching it twice. So with all this information, it's kind of hard. I still wear my mask. I'm still protecting myself. Obviously, I'm not walking around like I'm Iron Man. So yeah, that I don't know. I think that.
And Chris got he over there. He rubbing his chin. He got something to say. What you got to say over there, Chris?
I don't know, man. I just feel like not even like with this new strand and everything that's coming about, with not getting that 100% certification, especially from Dr. Fauci, whatever his name is.
Fauci.
If he don't vouch for it and say this is the one, then how are we supposed to believe this as a nation, as a people?
Yeah.
And it's not even like just black people. Any people that's taking this, like, how do you really? What's your motivation to go take it? I think that's the biggest thing. Like, if they're saying you can still catch it, but you just might not die from it, like it's not really making me want to be like, all right, let me go take that. Let me make sure my daughter get it. Let me make sure my pops get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, where's the motivation behind it? That's what I'm thinking. They're not really advertising it as a cure.
Yeah.
And that goes back to what you were saying as far as being a program. It sounds like trial and error. I've been reading cases where people took the vaccine a week later and still got it, like healthcare workers. I think this vaccine is more so for people in that environment.
Yeah.
People who are actually in the healthcare that's more susceptible to getting it because they're kind of exposed to it on an everyday, rather than somebody like myself where 5 out of 7 days I'm home anyway. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really dealing with people because I'm not trying to catch it.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of crazy.
It's a lot on the mental though, and the new strand that you were talking about is it actually hit New York.
Oh shit!
It already hit New York, so it's tough. California been on lockdown since March.
Yeah.
Well, listen. When they start saying we're gonna give you the platinum plan, you better run.
The platinum plan for the vaccine.
For the vaccine.
Yeah.
You know what that means?
Yeah.
Matter of fact, speaking of platinum, I know we finished with Trump, but what's gonna happen to Trump's platinum plan for black folks?
The one he got for Ice Cube?
Yeah, no, that wasn't.
Well, that's a whole nother thing.
That wasn't anything.
But still, I mean, they pushing it heavy in the black community. And, I'm very cautious because I'm like, where's the medical community when we were suffering from diabetes, heart attack, hypertension? Where are y'all? Infant mortality rates. Where black women dying in hospitals, giving birth. Mm-hmm. Where were you when those, or where are you? Because we're still suffering from those. Where are you when that is ravaging our community? Where are you with sickle cell?
Mm-hmm.
Sickle cell, I mean, there's been one medication out for sickle cell in the last, I don't know how many years, but it's one. You know, where are y'all then? Push that. Focus on that. But you focus on us because we gotta give y'all the vaccination because y'all have underlying symptoms. What about our underlying symptoms? Where were y'all then? You know what I mean? Now you want to push this. That's why I'm very cautious. And again, I'm not telling anybody not to get it. This is just my personal decision.
Yeah.
You know, because I remember when I was in Ghana, one of the speeches that the president made, because he was on Weekly, you know, during the pandemic, and he told the Ghanaian people, he said, listen, he said, get plenty of exercise, eat healthy, stay away from processed foods, get plenty of sun, social distance. He was giving people narratives on how to prevent yourself from getting it, boosting up your immune system. No other leader was talking about that because in climates or countries in Africa, you have everything you need right there to protect you, even the sun. Because one of the underlying symptoms that they don't talk about that we have as black folks in America is the lack of vitamin D. That lack of vitamin D affects our immune system, affects our mood. It affects, you know, us getting depression, you know. And I another public service announcement, please, black folks, when you go to the doctor to get tested, your annual or biannual checkup, ask to get your vitamin D levels checked, and you'll be surprised how low it is.
Yeah.
And that's something they're not telling us either. You know, when you pushing a vaccination versus prevention, you know, that is what we need. You know, but again, the cash is not in the cure.
Yeah, and we had that conversation offline too, because you know you were saying that us being inside and, you know, when we're outside, we're usually in our cars. Our windows protect us from the
ultraviolet.
Yeah, the UV.
Yep, UV.
So it's important for us to, you know, get that vitamin D somewhere, whether it's the sun, staring at the sunlight, whether it's, you know, vitamins.
And the sun is the best because that's us as black folks. We create our own vitamin D.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful thing.
And I'm gonna say it at least, if I don't say it every podcast, I'm gonna say it at least every other podcast, that, you know, these social media platforms had the perfect opportunity to let people know and to, you know, kind of wean people off of, you know, not being on social media all the time and getting that proper exercise and doing that. But we see that, you know, or I see how much that, you know, the internet and social media world cares about our well-being.
Well,
so people got to take it. No, I'm dead, bro.
Well, you know, you can be out there.
If I had a creator,
with your
no,
phone.
Hold on. If I was a creator of a social media platform, and the stuff that, you know, granted, Mark Zuckerberg and I forgot the guy that owns Twitter, his name. I forgot his name, but Jack Dorsey. If I was them, I know they're not as affected as we are because they're rich and, you know, they got a bunch of land and stuff. But, you know, even if I owned a social media platform, me personally, like, I would be putting out information besides, you know, COVID information and where you can get vaccinated and stuff like that. I'd be telling people these things, you know, that you don't necessarily have to do as far as vaccinating yourself and, you know, putting a mask on. I would also be telling people, you know, exercise, you know, stare into the sun. You know, I know
you don't want to stare into the sun.
Not stare into the sun. I'm talking, you know, gaze, you know, just.
No, you don't want to gaze.
There's gazing there's gazing into the sun.
You can lay in the sun and get your vitamin D.
But I'm saying you can gaze into the sun for a certain amount of time, whether, you know, you have your eyes closed or stuff like that, just for it to hit your skin.
I know some women that are like, they get their vitamin D in the bedroom.
Oh boy, I'm trying to be serious and you playing around. I'm trying to be serious.
Well, you know, I'm always serious. So this is nice to be able to be here with y'all young men. You know what I mean? Sharing my opinion. But ain't nothing wrong with that, sisters. Get your vitamin D any way you can.
Get it how you live.
You know.
But yeah, that's really just my thing. I just think that they could do a better job, and we got to hold ourselves accountable as well to, get out there and exercise. And we can't keep using the gyms aren't open, or the gyms, with COVID is affecting what we do and stuff like that, because this may be our reality for a little minute. So we got to be able to adapt and, work out outside or work out in your crib. You got to make that decision now, because, the more that, you're unhealthy or not exercising, that is weak on your immune system as well. So
true indeed.
And that is a lot of just, positive things that just goes into just movement, just doing things besides sitting down watching the news every day. So that's just my take on that.
Well, I mean, it's hard when, it's starting to get dark around 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Unless you get up early in the morning.
Right.
That's why I said, us living here ordinarily without even COVID, this environment is not really conducive for us as Black folks. But this is all we know.
Yeah.
Until we find other places. That's why when we go to Jamaica, everybody's just chilled and happy, and they chilled and happy because they in the sun. They in the tropics. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
You can pick mangoes off the tree. It's a beautiful thing. So, but all that to say, I got you. That is true. We have to stay healthy and be responsible for our health, because just popping pills is not going to solve the problem.
Yeah.
And just taking vaccines ain't just going to solve the problem as well too. So
True
I think
indeed.
just having that mindset of being healthy and wanting to kind of get out there, and I think that's something that needs to be changed. No, not changed, but they always tell us like quarantine, don't go outside, don't expose yourself to the virus. But if you like working out on your own, or you catching your sunlight and you being safe about it, I think that definitely, like you said, Shaq, should be promoted more.
Yes.
Whether that's through social media influencers or whatever the case may be, they should change the narrative and just always influence people the more healthy route.
Right.
And that's huge that you said the Ghanaian president was even preaching that, because that's what people need to hear. We hear it, don't wear a mask and go outside anytime you want, and the voting is rigged and shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
We're not hearing that positive shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I said just it's the environment is just crazy. Just politically, socially, economically, environmentally, it's just crazy. But you make a good point about just being outside, because it's not like the virus is going to jump up on you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because back in the day, people thought HIV, you get HIV from somebody being in the same room with somebody.
Yeah, shaking my hand.
Yeah. But, that's why they're saying everybody get the vaccination, because obviously they don't trust Americans enough to say, okay, do this so you can stay safe.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to tell us that. They're just going to say, oh, just get the vaccination, because we don't trust that. If we tell y'all just to do what y'all need to do, y'all not. Right. It's just like telling your child, you give them specific directions. You're like, no, you know what? Just do this.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can't trust that. You too young. You're not going to know how to do it properly. Let me just do this for you. Let me just tell you what to do. It may not be the best thing, but I'm going to just tell you what to do. Just do this.
Yeah.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's what it is. That's what happened with Trump, but let's not get back on that. But
I mean, it was glad to have you, Dad.
Oh, listen, I wasn't expecting to jump on the mic, and good to see Chris again.
Yeah, definitely, Pop, man. Nice to have you stop by.
So, yeah, I mean, I enjoy myself anytime, man.
I know the listeners gonna love you once they hit this episode. It's a good one, man.
Oh, well, I forgot. I mean, it's like we just rapping like we always do.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, listeners. I forgot about y'all.
We got
for
the
a moment.
listeners,
I'm
man.
sorry.
They tune in every week.
Sorry, but thank you for listening. Thank you. And if you want me back, I know this is not Facebook, but just hit like. I don't know how y'all hit the like button.
Hit
I don't
like.
know. But so
drop a comment.
Yeah, drop a comment. But thank you, son. Thank you, Chris, for having me. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Chris, any last words?
Nah, man. This is no apology.
All right. Just want to appreciate and thank everybody for listening. Big things coming this year. I say that all the time. Continue to listen, support. I want to shout out the consistent listeners as well as the new listeners. Continue to to spread the podcast as much as you can. And yes, I'm your host again, SHAQUILLE, my co-host Chris, my dad. No Apology to Podcast. See you next week.